The math is embarrassingly simple. That's exactly why nobody sits with it. People skip it because it looks too obvious to be the answer. Then they go and spend another 11 months on the interesting problems instead, the brand, the funnel colors, the third rewrite of the offer. Today, I'm putting your entire business on a whiteboard in 4 numbers. And before this ends, you're going to run those numbers on your own offer with your own close rate and see the exact size of the gap you've been living inside. Fair warning, the number you write down is going to annoy you. 5 qualified calls a day, that's 150 a month. Close 1 in 5, that's 30 clients. At 1 lakh per client, 30 lakhs a month, that's the whole business. 4 numbers. Now, the uncomfortable part. Your close rate is real. You didn't get it from a guru. You earned it in rooms. I didn't invent it. Your price is real. You already charge it. Someone paid it last quarter. I didn't inflate it. Your delivery is real. You know it works because people finish your program and thank you for it. 3 of the 4 numbers are already sitting in your business right now, fully installed, fully proven. The only number missing is the 150. That's the entire gap between where you are and that last figure on the board. Not your mindset, not your positioning, not another certification. 1 number, volume of qualified conversations. So why don't you have it? You're not lazy. Nobody watching this is lazy. You can't get to 150 because every method you're using is manual and mood dependent. You cannot post your way to 150. Posting is a lottery ticket you buy with 2 hours a day. Sometimes it pays. It never pays on schedule. You cannot DM your way to 150. Do the arithmetic on that one. To get 150 qualified conversations from cold direct messages, you would send something like 3,000 messages. At 30 seconds each, that's 25 hours every month before you deliver a single session. And referrals won't carry it. Referrals are wonderful and completely unschedulable. You cannot build a hiring plan on someone might mention me at a wedding. But here's the real trap, and it's worse than the effort. All 3 of those stop the moment you get busy delivering. You sign 3 clients, you go heads down for 4 weeks, and the pipeline goes to zero because you were the pipeline. 6 weeks later, those clients finish, and you're back at the empty calendar, starting the whole cycle again. That's not bad luck. That's the mathematical signature of a business where the founder is also the lead generation department. It's a feast famine machine. You built it by accident and it runs perfectly. What produces 150 reliably is machinery, and machinery has 4 parts. Part 1, a video that sells you before you ever speak. It makes the same argument at the same strength, whether it's Monday morning or 2 a.m. on a Sunday. Your pitch stops depending on your energy levels. Part 2, a form that confirms budget in writing, not are you serious about growth? A real question with a real number answered in writing before anything gets booked. It rejects roughly 8 out of 10 people who touch it on purpose. Part 3, follow up that never sleeps, email, SMS, WhatsApp, because most deals aren't lost at the pitch. They are lost on day 9 when nobody followed up and you told yourself you didn't want to be annoying. Part 4, a calendar that fills itself, no back and forth. They see real availability and they choose. Underneath all 4 sits a CRM holding every lead and every stage. And my team running the whole thing daily, not 4 tools you buy and wire together on a Saturday, 4 parts built as one system pointed at a single number. And here's why this matters more than any tactic I could give you. Machinery doesn't have moods. It doesn't get discouraged in week 3. It doesn't skip Tuesday because a client was rude on Monday. It doesn't stop when you get busy. Effort doesn't scale. You've already proven that at considerable personal cost. Machinery scales. We built all of it in 14 days. Link below when you want it run on your numbers. But do the next part first. It's the reason you will book or won't. Pause this if you need to. Actually do it. Your price times your honest close rate times 150. Write that number down somewhere. You'll see it tomorrow. Now, I know what you're doing. You're discounting it in your head as you write it. So let's stress test it properly and let's be pessimistic on purpose. Halve it. The engine under delivers. You only get 75 qualified calls. Does the case still make itself? Have your close rate too. You convert 1 in 10 instead of 1 in 5 because volume made you sloppy for a month. Run it at a third of the promise, a third. For most people watching, one third of that number is still a career best month. That's what a real margin of safety looks like. The math doesn't need to go right for this to work. It only needs to not go catastrophically wrong. Now do the last step, and this is the one that stings. Subtract what you actually made last month from the number you wrote down. That gap is not theoretical. It isn't potential or upside or any other soft word. That's the invoice your quiet calendar sent you last month. It'll send the same one in 30 days. And again, after that, nobody itemizes it, which is exactly why it's so easy to keep paying. Let me take the 3 objections in order, because you're having all of them. My close rate would drop with that much volume. It might. It also might climb. Most people close better when a call stops being existential. When you're not carrying the month on one conversation, you stop over explaining and start qualifying. But assume it drops. We already ran it at half. It still works. I can't handle 30 clients. Then don't take 30. Take 12 and raise your price, which you can finally do because you have a wait list instead of a hope. Volume doesn't obligate you to say yes. It gives you the right to say no, probably for the first time in your career. My market is too small for 150 a month. Almost never true and easy to check. We'll size it on the call in about 4 minutes. If your total addressable market genuinely can't support it, I'll tell you on that call and we won't work together. I've done that. It's a short conversation and it costs you nothing. So here's the arrangement. Plainly, we build it in 14 days, then we run it and you close. You never touched lead generation again. Not, we hand it over with a loom and a hopeful smile. My team is in it daily, watching the drop-offs, tightening the filter, keeping the follow-up alive. Your entire job becomes the one thing you're already excellent at, and the only thing that can't be outsourced, sitting with a buyer and being worth the money. That's the trade. You stop being a marketer who coaches, you go back to being a coach. One last piece of arithmetic, and then I'll let you go. Take that gap you wrote down, the difference between the number on the board and what you actually made last month, multiply it by 12. That's what this year costs at your current volume, not what you could theoretically earn in a perfect scenario. What the missing 150 is quietly billing you on a recurring basis while you work exactly as hard as you're working now, and it compounds in ways that don't show up in that figure. The hire you didn't make, so you stayed the bottleneck. The price you didn't raise because you couldn't afford to test it. The offer you didn't build because there was never a quiet quarter to build it in. None of that appears on a profit and loss statement. All of it is real. Meanwhile, the input side hasn't changed at all. Same hours, same effort, same you. That's the thing about a volume problem. It doesn't get worse dramatically. It just stays exactly the same for years. And staying the same is the expensive part. And one more thing worth saying plainly, nothing in that arithmetic required you to become a different person. No rebrand, no new offer, no 6 months learning ads, the same you with the same program at the same price in front of the number of people it was always supposed to reach. Look at the number you wrote down one more time. Then look at your calendar for next week. The distance between those two things isn't talent and it isn't effort. You've supplied both for years. It's 150 conversations you have no reliable way to manufacture. Highticketengine.com, 30 minutes, your numbers, an honest answer, including not yet, if that's the truth. The math was never the hard part. The 150 is